Rikishi was on a podcast, Off the Top podcast, where he suggested that Jey Uso may need to jump ship to AEW in order to get the respect that he is not getting in WWE. I'm just going to read what he said on the podcast verbatim, and then you'll get my thoughts. Here's what he said. I'm at the point where I want to call my son and say, go ahead and take a break. Obviously, the writers don't know where to put you, or they can write something that is right for the character, Jey Uso, the Yeet Man. The kid is so good. WWE ain't the only spot. He could probably go to AEW if he wants to write his own ticket. Maybe more than what WWE is making on him. Hopefully, they turn it around and do the right thing by the Yeet Man. End quote. So, before we jump down Rikishi's throat about this, let's just sympathize with him a little bit. Because there is something to what he's saying. And I can sympathize or empathize. I don't know which is the right term there. But I relate to what he's saying here. It is frustrating. I've been frustrated with Jey Uso not getting any kind of championship run. Any kind. Jey Uso, as of right now, and it's been this way for months, is one of the most popular wrestlers in the world today in wrestling. His entrance, do you understand? Right now, as I speak to you, there are football teams replicating Jey Uso's entrance. His entrance has transcended professional wrestling. You don't get a lot of talent that transcend wrestling. You just don't. So as hot as the WWE is, Jey Uso is someone that is a product of the popularity of WWE right now. He is the reason why it's so hot. No one saw this coming. If you would have told me in 10 years ago, 2014, maybe even 2020, that Jey Uso was going to be one of the most popular talents outside the Usos without Jimmy Uso, I would have laughed in your face. And as popular as he is, you still feel like, man, there's still a lot more we can do with him, right? And so, when you're this hot, you got to put a title on him. You almost need to put the title on him because it's not just for him. It elevates the championship. It elevates the title when you put it on popular superstars like a Jey Uso. Right? Am I wrong? Here's the problem. And here's where I don't relate to what Rikishi is saying. We currently are looking at one of the most stacked rosters that the WWE has. Think about who's champion right now. On the Raw side, you have Gunther. Nah, 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 nah. That's the World Heavyweight Champion. You got Bronson. God damn it, I did it. I was trying not to do it. Braun Breaker. There's too many Brauns. Braun Strowman, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. Whatever. I got it right. Braun Breaker as the IC champ. That's a big one right there. On the SmackDown side, you got Cody Rhodes as the World Heavyweight champ. And then you got L.A. Knight, as the U.S. champ. Who do you give the belt? Who do you drop the belt from to give the Jey Uso? You see, I don't think it's an issue of WWE doesn't respect Jey Uso. Here's an issue. This is a good issue. Here's the issue with what WWE has right now. They have a ton of very popular talent that could believably be a champion. That is a great problem to have. Because that means that you've done such a great job cultivating the characters and the stories of these talents that you literally have a roster full of top talents, left and right. The last time we had a roster like this was the Attitude Era, where anybody could have been champion at any time and you would have been cool with it. But unfortunately, like Chad Gable, like a lot of talents, like Bronson Reed, Jey Uso, unfortunately, is a victim of this roster just being too goddamn big and too goddamn good. So, what do? Do you pull a Ricochet? Take your luck? Try your luck on a different promotion? Because let's just be real. I don't see Jey Uso working out as much in AEW as I see him working out in WWE. But Tony Khan might push him to give him a world title. I think Rikishi jumped the gun just a tad bit. Just a tad bit. We need to be a little bit more patient. Because Triple H is all about the long-term story. He is never going to do something short-term. Unfortunately. That is an issue in some aspects. Because if you have a plan with somebody that goes 8 months, within those 8 months, you can get a ton of wrestlers getting hot. And if you don't capitalize on those talents while they're hot, and you miss that window of opportunity to establish them, you might not ever get it again. And that sucks. But that's the downside of long-term storytelling. With a Vince McMahon, I guarantee you, he would have made Jey Uso a multiple-time world champ. Because he's very short-term. Now, I don't see Jey Uso holding that belt for a long time. He would have probably dropped it back to a Roman Reigns or something like that. But you can see under a Vince McMahon, Jey Uso winning more titles, but them not meaning as much. With Triple H, when you win a title, you're not going to drop it right away. You're going to hold it for a while, like half a year to a year. Because he believes in long-term, long, lengthy title reigns. I don't recall one championship title reign. Actually, that's a lie. DIY won the belts, the tag team belts, and then dropped it right to the bloodline. So, okay, maybe certain people, he'll do hot potato here and there with the titles. But for the most part, if you're very popular, if you're someone that's a favorite of his, you're not going to just win the title and drop it. Like Bronson, God damn it, Braun Breaker. Can we just call him Rex Steiner? Like Braun Breaker. I don't see him losing that belt anytime soon. I can see him holding that belt to WrestleMania. Good luck finding someone to beat him. Well, Bronson Reed is someone that probably should beat him, but he's not. But if you have him fight Jey Uso, which is probably the plan, not even probably, that is going to be the match at Brad Blood, probably. Sorry, Jay's not going to win. Jay's not going to win. Does that mean they don't respect Jey? No, it's just, once again, we've reached a point where WWE has way too many top stars. And unfortunately, not everyone's going to get a chance to win a title. But does that mean that Jey Uso isn't respected? Does that mean that Jey Uso isn't loved or isn't appreciated, isn't doing anything? No. We all know when this Bloodline Civil War kicks off, that's where Jey Uso is going to be. And honestly, I would rather he be there than mid-card with the IC title. If you think about it long term, more than likely, not even more than likely, guaranteed, Jey Uso is going to be involved in something that means a lot more than him being a champion right now. Yes, I would love to see Jey Uso become world champion or an IC champ or win a title. Again, I do believe when you're this hot, you need to have a championship. Period. End of story. When you're this hot, the title needs you more than you needing a title. But let's just say, after this Bloodline storyline ends, Civil War comes to an end, Jey Uso is still very hot. I think when we get past Roman versus The Rock, because that, I say Roman versus Rock is the plan for WrestleMania 41. I don't even know anymore because I'm seeing rumors that it's going to be Rock and Cody. That will be the last topic we talk about before we get to the Raw review. But I think once we start to wrap things up with this Bloodline storyline, we can really start having that conversation about Jey Uso being the champion, which he should be. He should be. But in the meantime, just because he doesn't hold gold, just because he's not involved in the top storyline in the moment, doesn't mean he won't be later. When that Bloodline Civil War starts boiling over and we finally get Roman back with Jey and Jimmy, that is going to be the hottest thing in wrestling. You already know that's true. And it's going to involve The Rock. It's going to involve Jacob Fatu. It's going to involve Solo. We just got to be a little bit more patient. Just be a little bit more patient. As a Jey Uso fan, I relate to Rikishi, but at the same time, I trust Triple H to do the right thing with Jey Uso. By the time we get to November and we get that Bloodline Civil War inside War Games, I guarantee you, Rikishi's going to be like, I'm glad they took their time with him. Just be a little bit more patient. Be a little bit more patient. Things are going to work out with Jey Uso. I do believe they can maintain his momentum for a little bit longer and then give him a championship later on down the line.